The ever-widening Harvey, WeinsteinKevin, SpaceyLouis, C.K.Michael, OreskesMark, HalperinRaul, BocanegraTony, MendozaRoy. More megascandal may have changed how America reacts to UAL harassment. Perhaps we really are on the cusp of a new era in which men are less likely to behave boorishly, women are less likely to stay silent about being mistreated, and workplace leaders are more likely to hold harassers accountable, and less inclined to look the other way when the offenders are among their most talented and valuable workers. But American history is so rife with opportunistic hypocrisy on the issue that the notion our nation is suddenly a better, healthier place seems preposterous. The default position for Democrats who champion women's rights and for Republicans who champion family values is either to believe or disbelieve accusations based on how it helps or hurts their party. That's what's made the reaction to the reporting about Moore, the Alabama Republican Senate candidate in a December 12 special election runoff, so interesting. Fairly or not, the news outlet that broke the story, The Washington Post, has been regularly accused by conservatives of blatant bias against the GOP for some time. In the wake of the Weinstein bombshell, the timing of the Post's story alleging that Moore fondled a 14-year-old girl and hit on other teen girls decades ago while in his early 30s seemed curiously convenient to some on the right. It would not have been surprising to see many Republicans adopt the Breitbart newsline and dismiss the report as a partisan hit. Instead, many GOP figures, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, accepted the allegations as credible. And this week, after an Alabama woman produced her high school yearbook, which she said was signed by Moore, and described his alleged attempted UAL assault on her when she was 16, though Moore denied knowing the woman, national GOP support for his candidacy collapsed. McConnell's verdict: according to USA Today, he's obviously not fit to be in the United States Senate, the Kentucky Republican told reporters on Tuesday. So does this mean the party that dismissed allegations about Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas in 1991 now accepts the contention that allegations of male UAL misconduct must always be taken seriously? Or does it mean the Republican establishment never liked Steve Bannon Bartmore in the first place, strongly favoring appointed incumbent Sen. Luther Strange in the Sept. 26 GOP primary, and is confident it can regain the Alabama seat in 2020 if Moore loses to Democratic nominee Doug Jones next month. The latter theory seems far more likely. This is the same Republican establishment that's been silent about the Fox News harassment scandals involving Bill O'Reilly and Roger Ailes, and which chose to stand by Donald Trump in fall 2016 even as allegations of his bad behavior from at least 16 women were seemingly confirmed by Trump himself when video from 2005 emerged in which he boasted that as a celebrity, you can do anything with women, including grab them in the pelvic region. The hypocrisy of Republicans taking a moralistic stand on Moore but not Fox News or Trump was glee highlighted by liberal journalists. Huffington Post interviewed two Republican senators. Mike Rounds, our South Dakota, said he believes the women accusing Moore of UAL misconduct but threw his hands in the air when asked about Trump's accusers. I don't think in this particular case that there was a lot of disagreement among those individuals, so, he said, trailing off. I'm working on taxes right now and concentrating on that and heading to a meeting where I have to speak, and that's what I'm concentrating on. Sen. Mike NDR, Wyoming, told HuffPost walking quickly down a Senate hallway. Asked if he has any thoughts at all on the Moore scandal, he replied, "My thoughts are on taxes. If you want to talk about taxes. Okay. Do you want to tax Roy Moore?" asked HuffPost. NZ said nothing and walked away. But Democrats also have a problem when they talk about GOP hypocrisy. Bill Clinton is an anvil that will forever drag them down from their high horse. In 1994, a low-level Arkansas state employee named Paula Jones alleged that in 1991 then Arkansas Gov. Clinton invited her to a hotel room and then exposed himself, asking for oral. After Jones sued then-President Clinton, she was mocked as trailer park trash by Clinton aide James Carville. Clinton eventually settled Jones' lawsuit for $850,000. Clinton later began an affair with 22-year-old White House intern Monica Lewinsky and then lied about it to investigators, behavior that would have led to his firing in any other setting. But instead of finding this nauseating and unacceptable from a president, many Democratic lawmakers ended up describing Clinton as the victim of attempts to hold him accountable. The day the House impeached Clinton after charging him with lying under oath to a federal grand jury and obstructing justice, Rep. Maxine Waters, DL Los Angeles, hinted a coup was unfolding. President Bill Clinton is guilty of not being owned by the good old Southern boys, she said on the House floor. As Carville did with Jones, liberal New York Times columnist Maureen Dowd took to ridiculing Lewinsky throughout 1998. It is Ms. Lewinsky who comes across as the red-blooded predator, wailing to her girlfriends that the president wouldn't go all the way. It appears that there's one thing: Monica has immunity from brains. Clinton was found not guilty by the Senate in 1999, with Democrats successfully arguing that his offenses were not serious enough to justify ousting him from office. But the Lewinsky bashing didn't stop. In 2000, feminist pioneer Betty Friedan dismissed Lewinsky as a little twerp, and said, "It disgusts me to have to talk about her." Friedan and other feminists also had little use for former Arkansas nursing home operator Juanita Broaddrick, who in 1999 alleged that Clinton had raped her in 1978 when he was Arkansas Attorney General. Slate and many other outlets reported in 1999, 5 people said Broaddrick told them about the alleged assault just after it happened, the same sort of detail that gave credibility to Moore's accusers. But liberals have mostly ignored her allegations, as they did Clinton's sordid exploitation of Lewinsky. At least until this week. On Monday, New York Times columnist Michelle Goldberg wrote a column headlined, "I Believe Juanita," and declared, "Bill Clinton no longer has a place in decent society." On Wednesday, Fox journalist and co-founder Matthew Yglesias, on the short list of America's most influential pundits, wrote that Clinton should have resigned not for lying to a grand jury but for the behavior he lied about. A president who uses the power of the Oval Office to seduce a 20-something subordinate is morally bankrupt, and contributing, in a meaningful way, to a serious social problem that disadvantages millions of women throughout their lives. Had Clinton resigned in disgrace under pressure from his own party, that would have sent a strong, and useful, chilling signal to powerful men throughout the country. Instead, the ultimate disposition of the case, impunity for the man who did something wrong, embarrassment and disgrace for the woman who didn't, only served to confirm women's worst fears about coming forward. 2 decades too late, this is likely to become conventional wisdom. Before long, newly minted public pariah Bill Clinton will long for the days after his presidency when he used to travel the world on a private jet with his best friend from Hollywood, part of a relationship that PBS host Charlie Rose likened to a bromance. That friend, Kevin Spacey. The Mind Reels. Reed can be reached at chris.reed@stuniontribune.com. He welcomes column suggestions. Twitter at chrisreed99. To see his past columns, go to sdut.usrisreed. Twitter at estatidias.